Hey guys, so this is the very first week of a new series I'm doing. Well, it's not really a series, it's just like a different video style I'm doing. I'm going to be reviewing different books and movies every Friday. Hopefully I don't miss a video, but we'll see how it goes. The first movie that I am reviewing is the new Percy Jackson movie, The Sea of Monsters. The one I've been waiting for like 2 years. um, all in all, the movie was pretty good. If you haven't seen it, then you probably don't want to watch this because there will be spoilers. So, Percy Jackson, The Sea of Monsters, the movie itself is still in theaters, so I do not have a movie copy to show you guys, so I'm just showing you the book version. Um, the book is the second installment in the Percy Jackson series, and the movie is the same, but as we all know, the first Percy Jackson movie was a complete train wreck. Huge plot holes, characters missing, the whole thing was completely changed from top to bottom. Plus, they started out at 16, when in fact they're supposed to start out at the age of 11. So, thank you, Rick Riordan, for making one of the best books in the world a horrible movie. But I feel that if this franchise was ever going to be saved, they took the best route possible. Probably about 40% of the movie itself was dedicated to introducing things that they left out in the first movie. Soon I'm going to be rereading the whole series, so I don't remember everything about the books, so I'm not quite sure if they mentioned the prophecy in the first book, but they do introduce it in the new movie, but because of the fact that they started out in the first movie at 16, in the movie, they introduce the prophecy, and instead of it being 16 when he has to decide, it's when he is 20. So, doing the math correctly, actually, it means they started out in the first movie when they were 15. But, as we all know, they're probably like 19 now. I know Logan Lerman is definitely over 18, and the others I don't really know because they're not huge stars. So, it starts out immediately at Camp Half-Blood, where Percy and Clarice is finally introduced, and Percy and Clarice are running this obstacle course, which, as we know in the book, is an actual scene, if I remember correctly. But it's supposed to come later on, and Percy is supposed to start out at a school where his best friend is Tyson. He hasn't seen Grover or Annabeth in a little while. He's been going to regular school, which is how it's supposed to be. But in the movie, they took a different route. Instead of having him actually being at school, they had him at the camp, and Tyson just kind of shows up and he's sprung on Percy, and Percy just knows that he's his brother. And another huge thing that I have a problem with is the mist. Now, the way Tyson is, he's a Cyclops, but even Percy being a half-blood can't really see it unless he tries to see it. And, like, the whole Tyson story in the movie is about how he's always been, people have always been afraid of him because he's a Cyclops and because of the way he is, and they see him as he is. When in the book series, they don't see him like that, because he's supposed to have the mist, supposed to surround him and block out weird features so that humans see different things. That's one thing that they did leave out. They did introduce the mist, but it's more like, ooh, here's a perfume bottle filled with this thing called mist. It makes you look normal. And it was kind of stupid because he only got one use out of it. And it went away like almost immediately after they went into the Sea of Monsters. I like the movie overall, and I like that they finally introduced Kronos, they introduced Clarice, they made Luke's ambition the right one. Just, the movie, in my opinion, is the best way that they could have saved the franchise. I must say, I am looking forward to the third movie, because I'm a huge fan of these books, I actually dressed up for the movie premiere, which was very empty. Obviously, not a lot of people wanted to see the movie, but I am looking forward to the third movie if they make it, and hopefully they do. Um, but I feel like that where everybody else is criticizing the movie for how it's not like the book, you have to take into the fact that the first movie was the complete. It was nothing like the book at all, and they have to go off of that. So they have to start the movie in a way that it can relate to the first movie, unless they want to completely remake the franchise altogether. Which, in my opinion, they should, but I understand why they're not, because they don't want to have to start making brand new movies when it just started. I think Ray Reardon realized this mistake, and so he oversaw the project. I'm pretty sure to make sure that it was at least relatively close to the book. The plot scene was the same. The reason they went to the Sea of Monsters, however, was a bit different. Originally, they did go to get the Golden Fleece, but it made it even more convenient for them because Grover was trapped in the Sea of Monsters, and Percy could hear him in his head. When in the movie, that is not how it happens. Grover is fine at the start of the movie, but about halfway through, when they're traveling to the Sea of Monsters, he gets kidnapped, and he's turned over to the giant's control, and he does trick the giant. He does wear the wedding dress, and it looks really good the way they made it. But it's just like there's a lot of plot points that they left out that would have been really good in the movie. But all in all, I was pretty happy with the results of how it went in general. Percy has like this new power where he's able to see the lines on a map, but he's able to see them on the ocean, and so he knows where to go. And he gets the coordinates for where the Fleece and Grover are in a different way instead of from Apollo like he's supposed to. Just a lot of small things throughout the movie that just kind of like made me a little bit mad, but I was fine with the movie overall. My expectations were very low, and I gotta say, it greatly surpassed them, however small they were. I'm sorry if this feels like a run on. I'm just giving my opinion on the review and a review of the movie. The book, honestly, The Sea of Monsters is my least favorite book in the series. It's not saying much though, because I love the series altogether. I was just never able to get into it the first time I read it, and I haven't read it since. So hopefully, when I reread it, I'll be able to get into it like I could with the other four books and the other seven if you count the three in the new series. I am awaiting October. I really want it to be October already because I am just waiting for the new book. Like, I cannot wait for it to come out. But that's off topic. So the movie, one of the things that does happen is they meet up with Clarice. She was swallowed by this giant monster, which I can't remember if it's in the book. But they escape. They get to the fleece. They get the fleece, but then Luke takes the fleece and puts it on the coffin of Kronos, which I am pretty sure is not in the book. And Kronos almost rises, but he doesn't quite rise. It might be in the book, but I don't think so because I don't think Luke has the actual coffin of Kronos until maybe like the fourth book. Um, I could be wrong, but all I know is I don't think that was in the book. I know he had a fight with Luke, and Luke did play a big part in the book as an opposing force, but the way that it was made, I didn't like it. I liked how they depicted Kronos. I know it looks like he's some kind of fiery beast in the commercials, but in reality, it's not that he's made of lava or fire or anything like I thought. It's that he's broken into pieces and the fleece is healing him, but it's not putting him back together completely. It's just like putting the pieces in the right order like a puzzle. And every time he's hit, he does heal, but the pieces fall off for a short time, and he's vulnerable. Um, I like the way they depicted him. I like whoever the voice actor was, I thought he did a good job. I thought the way it was structured was very good. And at the end, just like in the book, Talia does come back because they get the fleece to camp and it's put onto the tree. And you think that they're not going to do it. The way the movie is, you think they're not going to have Talia come back. And then right before it's over, Annabeth comes over and yells, "Percy, Percy, the fleece worked, but it worked too good." And then they run over and they meet Talia, and they're like, "Who are you? What's your name?" She's like, "I'm Talia. Where am I?" You know, and then it's just like that's where it cuts off. Well, not really right there, because after that there's like a voiceover of Percy, and it's closing in on the coffin of Cronus, and he's like, "Maybe I wasn't the one that the prophecy was talking about," and then like the pieces of Cronus like shine. Um, it was a good movie. I really liked it. I know that I've said that like 6 times. I don't blame you if you haven't made it this far into the video. I'll probably edit out a lot, but you know, whatever. Um, so that was the Sea of Monsters review. I don't know what I'm going to review next week, but I'll figure out something. Maybe I'll review the movie I saw today, We're the Millers. Who knows? But next week I am looking forward to it. Expect my video tomorrow, so I will see you guys.